Welcome, ladies, to the Women Things podcast. I'm Madison, the host of the show. So please introduce yourselves. Where are you located and what is your occupation? All right, so I would start with Zia. Where are you located and what is your occupation?
I am located in Palmdale, California, which is about an hour and a half northeast of LA. And my current role is a senior human factors engineer.
Awesome, welcome. Kara, same questions for you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cara Diadamo, and I'm located in Brooklyn, New York. I am a working artist and the founder of Faith Over Fear Studio and Productions.
Awesome, and Malia.
My name is Malia. I'm from Bridgeport, Connecticut. I am an author and a college student.
All right, ladies, so we're just going to jump right into the topics. So the first topic up, young Americans are taking months off from work to travel while they're still young.
A new study shows 40% of workers believe burnout is an inevitable part of success, but that burnout has a lot of people looking for more than just a vacation.
The cure might just be a new trend. We're seeing something called mini retirements. Here's On Your Side's Gary Harper.
Burnout happens when the stress or pressure from work reaches a tipping point, leading some people to take a mini retirement. Denitha Doe, the founder of the website Money and Mimosas, says that's an intentional break from a job, usually lasting somewhere between 3 months and a year.
Most folks are familiar with the term sabbatical, and they can be interchanged. I see sabbaticals as being covered by your place of employment, and at this time, not all employers offer sabbatical. I hope one day it becomes more of the norm and we all have access to this, but in the meantime, we've got mini retirements, which are self-funded. So the individual is funding their intentional career break.
She says there are 3 signs that you may need a mini retirement. One is you love your job, but you're lacking the motivation to complete tasks. The second is if you can't remember what you like to do for fun, particularly women who take on careers while raising a family and they just never take time for themselves. Doe says a mini retirement does not necessarily mean quitting your job, but it depends on your employer. You may have to find a new job.
However, I'm starting to see more and more employers recognize the need for these intentional career breaks. So they may not fund your mini retirement. You may not be receiving payments, a salary during this time, but they may hold your job during your intentional break so that it's there once you're ready to return.
The third sign you might need a mini retirement, you start a side hustle or passion project and you just lack the follow through because of stress or exhaustion. I'm Gary Harper, On Your Side.
In your opinion, is it a good idea to take long vacations and time off from work regularly? And I would start with you, Malia.
I think it is. I know employers would have a fit about it, but quite frankly, I think they would end up having happier, healthier workers if they did allow this. So I think it's a good idea. Um, I do. Long story short, I do think it's a good idea. So it would be kind of cool if this could actually happen in more workplaces.
Awesome. Kara?
I definitely agree with this as well. I think more companies, especially corporate companies, should offer something like this because I know as a freelance worker and business owner, we're working 24/7 and sometimes we really need that vacation. So it's necessary in order to avoid burnout.
Awesome, awesome. Zia?
I fully agree. So the vacation culture in the US compared to the UK is very, very different and Europe as well. Um, and it kind of just mind boggled me that people have vacation days here and they actually don't even end up taking them. And it's not much. The allowances here are like quite small. But for me, like if you've got the opportunity to take a month of time off work because you've finished up a project and it's before the next project has been like rolled out or someone else can start the next project, then I don't see that it would be detrimental to a company if as long as they manage it properly. I think having a really good chunk of time off can rejuvenate you and make you more energized when you do come back to that role.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. A woman reports being drugged at a Boston restaurant.
At 7, a woman's warning about a drug drink at a popular local restaurant, and it's spreading fast on social media.
Feeling lost with overseas teams and poor support? I am Pravision, founder of Pravision. I offer a personal touch in digital marketing to truly connect with your audience, from website development to SEO to custom swag. I am here to help you to stand out. Ready to boost your brand?
ABC 10's Kirsten Glavin spoke to her. She's live in the seaport outside Legal Seafoods with the woman's story. Kirsten?
Yeah, all of this started after the woman posted about this terrifying experience on TikTok. Now, it allegedly happened at the Legal Seafoods here on Northern Ave, and right now the restaurant is investigating those claims. The woman is a 32-year-old who says she went to Oktoberfest Saturday night with a friend, then popped into Legal after and sat alone for a while. She says she ordered a water and that halfway through the bartender came over, took the water back, and then gave her a new one. Now, not long after, she says her vision was blurry and she had the gut feeling she had been drugged. Luckily, she was able to leave right away and catch an Uber home with her dad on the phone the whole way. And the next day, she made a TikTok warning others, which has since gone viral. Now, we did speak with her today about this entire incident. Take a listen.
I'm really lucky that I got home. Like, I'm really lucky that I knew the signs and I got home, but that doesn't happen for everybody, and we know the realities of what can happen. If it could help at least one person, then I'm happy I shared my story.
Legal Seafood is telling us in part tonight, we are taking this matter very seriously and immediately launched an investigation and contacted the guest. Our guest safety and security are always our #1 priority. Our teams are trained and certified to ensure safe, welcoming, and respectful environments for our patrons and team members alike. Now, state police at this point tonight say they are investigating this potential roofie incident.
What would you do if you experienced this at a restaurant? All right, and I will start with you, Malia. What would you do if you experienced this at a restaurant?
I think she did the right thing. I would have called the police and I would have told whoever was in charge what was going on, what happened. I would be in denial because I would think there's no way. Like, I've always heard of this happening to people, but I would be, at first I wouldn't even really, I would be in denial at first, but I would just say, hey, I think I would just tell maybe a manager or someone like, hey, I think someone may have drugged me. And I would have called the police too, because there's a possibility that if I'm not the only one it happened to. So just alert people. I would do exactly what she did. And I'd probably steer clear of the place, to be honest. I'd be too freaked out. It would take a while for me to go back to that establishment again, to be honest. 'Cause, yeah.
Thank you, Malia. Zia?
Yeah, I mean, it's like enraging to me that this kind of stuff happens, but I think I would tell a woman first, like, whether the manager is a woman or, not. If it was only men, I wouldn't tell them. I would find a woman, even if they were just sat at the bar, and say, hey, I think I've been spiked. And again, yeah, probably call either an ambulance or the police, because you don't know how that's going to like mess with your system, like how you're going to react to it, how quickly you're going to react to it. And then I'd probably shoot my husband a text message as well, let him know the score and what's going on. But yeah, she did the right thing by getting out of there. Although she did get into an Uber, which is a bit unsafe, I'd say, if she felt like she had been drugged.
Thank you, Zia. Kara?
I think she did the right thing as well. I unfortunately was in a situation before similar to this with another friend, and it was extremely upsetting. Living in New York, this happens too much. And I feel like you should always let people know where you are firsthand. So all family and friends, anytime I go out, I always do like a cold word or a cold emoji to let them know that I'm okay, that I'm safe. And if something is wrong, then they'll know exactly where I'm located. So I think that's important as well, to let people know. But I think she should also, well, I alerted the manager when that happened, unfortunately, and we alerted the police as well. And it was a really scary situation, and women really need to protect themselves. It's unfortunate.
Thank you, Kara. Yeah, those are some good tips. Thank you. And Harut.
I have to say about this.
We are a Precocious child candle company. We're 100% all natural, handmade, hand mixed, and hand poured with over 200 different candle scents to choose from. We also offer wax melt kits, plus room and linen sprays. Our products are great for occasions such as baby showers, birthdays, Valentine's Day, anniversaries, sorority events, vendor events, or just because you like candles. Give us a try. We know you'll like our products.
Sorry, that I would be honest and say that I would probably be really hysteric and panic. So I don't think the first thing would be to call the police. I would just turn the manager. I would cry for help from people in the restaurant, like near me. I would probably say, sorry, I think I got something in my drink. I think I would just turn to people around me, manager for sure, waiters, everyone to ask for help. These things make me panic. I think that woman was brave in the story. She was.
You, Harut. Thank you, ladies. All right, so we're going to move on to the next topic. It's a little lighter, a little lighter.
Online after 3 women say they were kicked off a Spirit Airlines flight over the way they were dressed. The women started recording video of the situation as it escalated. They are now accusing the airline of singling them out and embarrassing them. They shared their story with Eyewitness News reporter Sophie Flay.
It's a crop top controversy going viral.
We were wearing crop tops like this, just like a little bit of stomach showing crop tops. And a male flight attendant came up to us and aggressively said, mumbled, put something on, and then walked away.
The women took this video before boarding, showing they had sweaters, but removed them, saying the plane did not have air conditioning before takeoff. They say a male flight attendant had an issue with their clothing.
He's telling both of us to put our sweaters on, and then we're like, oh, can we see a dress code? Like, is there a policy that says we can't wear crop tops on the plane?
It was very hot, so everybody had their sweaters off.
Carla Hager, a woman they did not know, was sitting in front of them.
I said, well, if your body is inappropriate, then so is mine, because I also have a crop top under my sweater. And I took my sweater off, and I was like, so if they're kicking you off this flight, then they're also going to have to kick me and my toddler off of the flight.
But that's what happened. The 3 women and a toddler kicked off the Spirit Airlines plane with no refund.
We were kind of embarrassed as well because we felt we were being treated like, I don't know, like criminals. Everyone in the plane was looking at us.
Eyewitness News reached out to Spirit Airlines about the incident. A statement from the company said, our contract of carriage, a document all guests agree to upon making a reservation with us, includes certain clothing standards for all guests traveling with us. We are investigating the matter, and we are in contact with the guests about their experience. The contract of carriage says in part, a guest may be required to leave an aircraft if that guest is inadequately clothed or whose clothing is lewd, obscene, or offensive. Also stating that if asked to leave, the guest will not be eligible for a refund. The women say they then had to spend $1,000 on a Delta flight to get to New Orleans to celebrate Tara's 30th birthday.
They were treating us honestly like criminals, all because we were wearing the crop tops on the flight.
The 2 friends tell me that they did offer to put their sweaters back on multiple times in order to not get kicked off the plane, but the flight attendant told them it was too late. Those 2 friends now say they are interested in taking legal action.
Were the actions of Spirit Airlines appropriate to you? All right. Were the actions of Spirit Airlines appropriate to you? And I would start with you, Malia.
So, I do not think the actions of the Spirit Airlines employee was appropriate because, number one, the person was very aggressive. The employee was very aggressive. Number 2, the passengers actually offered to put their sweaters back on, but he said it was too late, which is really weird because there's no way it was too late for them to put their sweaters on. They can just put their sweaters on. So I don't know what was up with that guy, but the whole thing's weird. I've been hearing about dress code. I've always heard there was a dress code policy at the airport or on the airlines, but bottom line, I do think that the airline employee was out of line. I believe he did act inappropriately. He was very aggressive with a paying customer, and on top of that, they tried to actually.
Hi everyone, I'm Maria and I'm a Crown Free representative. We're a company with a passion to put an end to human trafficking. With every purchase, Crown Free employs and supports survivors of human trafficking. We also donate a portion of our profits to organizations in the U.S. and internationally that work to restore, rescue, and rehabilitate survivors. So how can you make a difference today? Purchase products, book a pop-up shop, or join our tribe. To learn more, visit us at crownfree.com.
Resolve the situation, the passengers, but he still didn't even try to work with them, with a resolution. So I'm glad that they're considering taking legal action, because some of these employees are kind of acting they're acting as crazy as the drunk passengers these days. So I hope that gets resolved, because this was pretty wild.
Thank you, Malia. Zia?
No, they were completely out of line. Spirit did not do the right thing in this situation. It's just close. The crazy thing is, right, the last time I went through the airport, I had to take my sweater off in security, and I was wearing like a spaghetti strap crop top, just like those women wear. And they made me take my sweater off. So can you imagine then to get on a plane and they're like, oh no, you have to put your sweater back on. That's like, it's crazy. They were dressed fine, in my opinion.
Kara?
I just think that's completely ludicrous. That was absolutely terrible. I can't believe that they would actually ask two young girls to leave when they offered to put their sweaters back on. And I don't know, whatever the flight attendant was going through, he should be fired. And I do believe that they should definitely take legal action, because that's not fair. And also they had to spend $1,000 on someone's birthday. They completely ruined her birthday. That's not fair at all.
Yes, thank you, Kara. And Harut?
Yes, I would say that this was an absurd. Like, are they living in the last century? A woman can wear whatever she wants to wear, and nevertheless, she was paying money for this plane ticket. That was really wrong to do from a Spirit Airline. I heard a lot of complaints about Spirit Airlines so far. So I haven't been going with them yet, but I heard a lot of bad reviews. This will be one of them. They should compensate those girls. They paid money, they offered to put their jackets, and they are allowed to wear whatever they want. It's the 21st century.
Thank you, Harut. Thank you, ladies. All right, so we're just going to move on to the next topic. The next topic up is, are taxis safer with no driver? Again, the topic is, are taxis safer with no driver?
Old Abby Vigil was headed to work when she says her conversation with a rideshare driver took a turn.
There was this guy that kept saying that I was like gonna be the perfect girlfriend for him. It's okay if you're not interested, but like, I know where you live and I know where you work.
The incident, one of many unnerving experiences that have left Vigil wary of Ubers and Lyfts. Now, she's part of a growing number of women embracing the autonomous taxi service Waymo to avoid any potential menacing drivers.
It takes out the pressure of like a male in the car with you, always wanting something out of the interaction.
Some women tell NBC News they prefer Waymo because they don't have to share an enclosed space with an unfamiliar driver, 3/4 of whom are men. Reported violence in Ubers and Lyfts is rare. The companies say safety violations, which include fatal crashes or physical or sexual assaults, occur in just 1 in every 500,000 rides. But some women say those figures, which are reviewed by outside experts, still don't quell their fears. They're worried about behavior that doesn't show up in company-issued transparency reports, such as unwelcome flirting.
I didn't report that situation. I know a lot of people don't report the situations that they experience, so I don't really think there's like data attached to these things actually happening.
But self-driving cars are not without risks. A video posted to TikTok shows this terrifying moment as a group of people block a Waymo with passengers inside, covering it with graffiti and damaging the car. Or this incident, in in which police say a man disrupted a Waymo ride, then assaulted the passenger inside, sending him to the hospital. In a statement to NBC News, Waymo said it takes situations like these, quote, very seriously, but that they're, quote, exceedingly rare. And Waymo cars have sometimes led their passengers into unsafe situations. This video from over the summer, showing a Waymo car turning the wrong way into oncoming traffic. In response, Waymo saying in part, we continuously refine our system's performance to navigate complex scenarios while prioritizing community safety. Jason Munderloh, a San Francisco Lyft driver and pro driver organizer, says these situations show the importance of human drivers.
We've seen Waymo rides where harassment happens. It happens from outside of the car, but you're stuck without a driver, without another person with you that might be able to handle the situation.
He says he understands women's concerns, but maintains that most drivers are respectful and that many drivers face the risk of losing their livelihoods over false complaints from disgruntled riders.
Seasoned, excellent, respectful drivers get deactivated from the platform because of these complaints that are often spurious. And unfortunately, the level of investigation done by Uber or Lyft is inadequate.
Would you take a driverless taxi? All right. Would you take a driverless taxi?
I actually would take a driverless taxi, as long as they get the mishaps out or the kinks out, for lack of better words. I would. I'm actually pursuing a robotics engineering degree, so I'm very interested. I actually hopefully would be a part of a team that would be building these kind of cars, because I'm really interested in robotics and automation and all of that. So I would take this kind of car because this is the kind of car I would actually want to help create. But I just think they need to keep testing it. I think the cars, I've heard good reviews about them though, but just think they need with more testing, I think I would be comfortable. I think it's still a little too early, but I just think with more testing, I would definitely take a driverless car, because I do understand why I'm a woman too, so I understand why women would be concerned. Once in a blue moon, I do think, I hope this guy is sane, I do. And I gotta be honest, the video mentioned that 3 out of 4 drivers are males, and I really don't. I guess I could understand why, because women are afraid for their safety. So it's kind of like, yeah, when I get a woman driver, I am excited, to be honest. But so bottom line, I would take a driverless car, and I do understand women's concerns. It's sad that I almost trust the driverless cars a little bit more, but admittedly, I don't want to ramble too much. Yes, I would take a driverless car. I definitely understand why people are interested in it. But I understand why women are concerned as well. But yeah, that's my answer on that.
Awesome. All right, the next person up is Zia.
Yeah, the threat is real. I don't think there's a woman on this planet who's gotten an Uber and hasn't used the features of the safety features of the app, or have texted a friend or something that they are in an Uber, and to check in with them when they get out. And I know that when I have a female driver, I don't do those things. I only do it when there's a male driver. So would I trust the automated car? Yes, absolutely, 100%. I do work in automation. There are kinks to iron out. They do need to do a little bit more brainstorming around the scenarios of where it can go wrong, and use the situations that are coming to light, and not just brush them off and go, oh, but it's really rare. No, that is a data point now, and you can address it. So once they do address it, and the navigation will come, that's less of a concern to me. The fact that the car will stop when it's surrounded by people, they need some kind of emergency response to that sort of situation to make their passengers feel safe.
Thank you, Zia. Kara?
I personally would never take that at all. I mean, I think it's important as women to learn self-defense and to always carry pepper spray and be prepared no matter where you go. I mean, I live in New York, so I can't even imagine having Waymo or just a mechanical car drive from place to place, because it's so chaotic. I wouldn't feel safe without having an actual human in the car. But I do believe that with AI and technology advancing the way that it is, potentially it could be something that would be beneficial for women. However, I think it would also lessen a lot of jobs for drivers as well. So I think there's so much to consider in that. But as a female who knows self-defense, I would never take it.
Thank you, Kara. And Haru.
Yeah, so I am totally in the same answer as Kara. I would never take that. I won't go into a Waymo. I am not going to trust a driverless car. This would be so much scary than to drive with a driver. The feel of not being able to control whatever is driving, the no driver, non-issue. I would not go into that. I know that it's scary to be alone in an Uber. And I know that most drivers are men. But yeah, you have to be ready for everything. You have to be quick. You have to be loudy. I don't know, but not going with no driver. Sorry.
Thank you, ladies. I find it interesting how it's a little split here. I guess maybe I can break the tie. Let's see where this goes. I'll jump in for a second. Honestly, I think it's a good idea. However, I do think that there needs to be they had to improve the technology a bit more for me to, feel comfortable, going into a driverless taxi. I would say I would, but if it was just way more advanced and I knew that I could speak to a human in seconds if something happened. But I'm not gonna lie, that is scary. At the moment, it's scary because I don't think they're ready. So yeah, that's my take on it. All right, thank you, ladies. All right, ladies. The last topic is this one: 100 raccoons swarm a woman's home demanding food.
When sheriff's deputies get called to a home invasion to find some masked bandits, they're not already wearing prison stripes. A Poulsbo woman,
she felt the raccoons were threatening,
called 911 after her home was surrounded by raccoons.
This is something you don't see every day.
35 years ago, you first started feeding some raccoons, and then when all of a sudden did it explode like this?
6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago.
She told deputies she'd been leaving food out for the raccoons since the 1980s. Among the raccoon population here in Poulsbo, word got out about the midnight all-you-can-eat buffet. By October 3rd, nearly 100 of them had invaded the woman's property, deputies tell us, swarming around her home night and day.
They were shocked. They had never seen that many raccoons in one place.
Even neighbors like Wendy Kronk,
I'd say it's been about the last month or so I've noticed it,
are also seeing an uptick.
I've had several raccoons in the yard recently. My dogs have gotten in a scuffle several times with raccoons. I even had to take one of my dogs to the vet after tussling with a raccoon. And I've also noticed there's been a lot more hit raccoons up on the main road here.
Trapping and relocating them will cost the woman $500 per raccoon. Deputies say she's concerned. Kronk just hopes the issue gets resolved soon.
I do hope that somebody steps in and helps her, take care of this problem, and hopefully she'll quit doing it.
What would you do if a mob of raccoons were demanding food from you and it was too expensive to have them removed?
I would honestly, it would be concerning because it's like there's so many of them. That is really rough. This is not a problem I ever thought I'd have to deal with. What would I actually do if that happened? And the problem was too expensive to fix. I mean, I would have to find a way. The government has money, so they could find a way to solve it. So bottom line, what would I do? Obviously call animal control, obviously call my local, politicians, whoever, it's such a weird problem. But I'd call animal control, and from there I would contact whoever would be appropriate for that situation. That's very concerning though, because when you're trying to go to work or to the grocery store, that's probably really crazy. So I would just contact the authorities, which is really weird because I would just have to contact. I don't know what else I could do. I can't fight them, so I don't want to kill anybody. So that's the best thing I can do. Contact the authorities.
Thank you, Malia.
Well, first I would not feed them anymore. Okay, sounds like they've come there for the food. This woman has to stop feeding the raccoons. But I Like when you say a raccoon to me, I don't see like a fierce, crazy animal. I see something that actually looks quite cute. Like, I don't think they're gonna hurt me. There must be a charity like endangered raccoons or something. There must be someone, an organization out there that will take care of these raccoons. But I'm pretty sure if you just stop feeding them, they're gonna go away.
Zia and Kara.
I completely agree. I would be, first of all, so scared to see that many raccoons near my home, and I would definitely stop feeding them. I would call the authorities and try to figure out how best to not harm them. I know there's definitely has to be charity organizations like Zia was saying, or just any other foundation where they won't get hurt, but I can't imagine having that many raccoons in my home, like outside of my home. I think it's just too much.
Thank you, Kara and Harut.
So first, I will not go out of the house. I will stay locked. Second, I will call the authorities, mayor, whatever, save the animals, whoever I can call to do something about it. And third, I would consider moving from there. Go back to the city. Don't live there.
Thank you. Thank you, Harut, and thank you, ladies. So that was it, ladies. That was the final topic. So I enjoyed speaking with you, ladies, and I look forward to meeting up again. Like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.